Hi, I'm Grace Upham.
And I'm Mackenzie Palmasano. Welcome to this week's edition of Beyond the Rock Live News Edition.
For our live edition, our advanced team has split up into 3 different groups, each responsible for bringing you 15 minutes of programming.
Our individual groups will revolve around the Racing Olympics, student events, and my favorite topic, food.
Taste test, Burger Shack, and a local cheese shop. Welcome to Beyond the Rock Live Edition.
For the first portion of our live edition today, we are calling it Beyond the Plate, focusing on the new cuisines of Rockford.
Hey Kenzie,
Yeah, Grace?
what is your favorite food?
Mine's pancakes and cinnamon rolls. How about you?
Mine is donuts. I can eat them all day.
Then you should have gone down with our team who traveled all around Rockford to see who has the best donut.
Jackson.
And I'm Keith. Welcome to Donut Duel.
Donut Duel basically consists of us going around Rockford and trying out different kinds of donuts. We have the classic glazed donut. 3 out of 5.
I have to agree with 3 out of 5. This is the one I'm excited for. Long John. This is a 3.5. Classic sprinkles.
Chocolate's not bad. I'm gonna say a 1. Day 2, today we have, what do we have here, Keith?
Sprinkles brand donuts.
Traditional glaze. I'll give this one a 4.
4.5. This is a Long John. I think I'd give this a 4.
2.5 for chocolate covered with sprinkles. 4. Yep, 4. I'd say sprinkles 100 times better than a store-bought. Day 3, and Keith, what are these donuts from?
We got these from Boswick Lake Inn Bakery. We do not have the glazed donut today. They did not carry those, but instead we got an apple fritter.
I'll give this like a 3.
Come on, apple. Yep, Long Johns. I'm excited for these. 3.
2.5.
Finally, the one that we're not looking forward to.
Those look so good. My mouth is watering.
Mine too. We should go get some of those donuts.
We definitely should.
Can we get lunch too?
Yeah, I know this great place in Rockford that has the best burgers in town. Although it's quaint, it's always full of life.
Bridge Street Burger Shack. Opened just this past June, it has been a popular place for all types of people. Owner Peter Setterington has a lot to say about his new successful business.
We opened the Burger Shack because we had the storefront. I've had this space for about a year and I've been doing catering out of it, and our landlord wanted us to put something in the storefront. So we looked around town and tried to figure out what wouldn't compete with anyone and what Rockford was missing, and we thought this was the best idea.
What the Burger Shack has to offer is simple: burgers.
We are burgers and fries and root beer floats. That's it. Nothing, no frills, nothing special other than the quality of our food. We offer really good, high-quality food at a really cheap price, and very quick.
Mr. Setterington has some advice for any aspiring restaurant owners.
If somebody wants to become a restaurant owner, they need to understand they're not going to get rich doing it. They need to have truly, it's an overused word, but it needs to be a passion. You need to really love what you're doing to do this.
The Burger Shack is open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come out and enjoy your very own Bridge Street Burger.
What a cute little restaurant.
I know, I just love all the variety that we have in Rockford.
Me too.
Up next, we'll be traveling just down the street to the local cheese shop.
Maybe we'll even jump in the kitchen and do some cooking ourselves.
Tune in after the break.
When I grow up, I want to be just like Nate, because I love basketball, and Nate is good at basketball. I'm so glad that I have a cool role model like him.
Welcome back to Beyond the Plate.
Continuing our journey around Rockford, we discovered a unique store.
This store knows all your ins and outs to all of your dairy needs.
Now to Delaney, our BTR cheese aficionado.
Opened very recently, and we're going to take a look at what they do here. One of Rockford's new additions is a small store that specializes in something we all love.
I'm Heather. I escaped corporate America is what I say. So I worked in corporate America for about 16 years and have wanted to open a cheese and wine shop for about 12 years. So I decided to leave corporate America, take the risk, and open a cheese shop here in Rockford.
To prove that their cheeses are better than store-bought, Heather let me try a few.
So you had mentioned that you like goat cheese, so I got a couple out for you to try. The first one is a goat Gouda, made in the Netherlands. So most of our Goudas come from the Netherlands. This is a goat cheese that's aged for about 6 months.
It's really good.
You can't go wrong with Goudas, especially from the Netherlands. The second one I got out for you is kind of a dessert cheese. So this one is called Capra with honey. It is made in Belgium. It's a goat cheese, fresh goat cheese with honey. Most people love this one.
It tastes like frosting. It tastes like cheese.
And it's
frosting.
cheese. So,
That's really
there's
good.
no added sugar, so it's actually much healthier for you.
I also wondered why it was so important for Heather to bring something as unique as a cheese shop to Rockford.
Being a resident of Rockford, I knew I wanted to have something in the Rockford area. And I think downtown is just a great area, especially with all the pedestrians that walk around. I think people should come in just to try something different.
I had a really Gouda time here at Rockford Cheese Shop. Now back to Kenzie and Grace in the studio.
Welcome back to Beyond the Plate. Here we're going to be making some Oreo truffles. So first, what you're going to need is you're going to need cream cheese and you're going to need Oreos. So you're going to buy a full family size pack and you're going to empty them into a bag and make sure that they're finely ground. So we're going to mix together the Oreo crumbles, and then you're going to add your cream cheese. Now, the mixing is a bit tough, but you're really going to want to make sure that you stick with it because it will turn out so much better. So, you want to use the whole thing, and just one block. It doesn't have to be in the container. You can use the tinfoil kind too. So next, you're going to mix your cream cheese and your Oreos. Now, once you do that, which this will take a while, but you're going to roll them into about quarter-size balls, and you're going to make sure that they're really smooth, and you're going to put them on a cookie sheet and put them in the fridge to let them sit. What do we do next, Kenzie?
So once we get all of this mixed up, we're just going to grab some of the cream cheese and Oreo mix, just like this, and now we're going to be rolling them into balls. All right, so once you get a ball size just like this, you're going to put them back onto a tray and then move them to the fridge. Once you put them in the fridge for a little bit, you're going to take them right out and set them down. And then, Grace, you want to take over?
You're going to use your chocolate, and you're going to want to make sure that it's really melted. Once you melt the chocolate, you're going to roll your truffles through it, make sure that they're nice and coated, and you're going to put them back in the fridge for a couple hours to sit. Now, while you're waiting for your Oreos to cool down, you're going to want to use a couple more Oreos from the family size pack, and you're going to want to crush those up too. Now, these ones should be very finely ground, almost like powder. You're going to use these later to cover the top of them for a nice little garnish.
And then, after the garnish, you're going to put them back in the fridge, wait a little bit, and take them out, wait for them to cool, and you'll be right ready to eat them.
All right, so this is your finished product. As you can see, they turn out really nicely. These are the perfect thing for birthday parties. You can use them for kids. Kids love them. And they're not too sweet, but not too bad. Now, we're going to try them to see how they are.
Not too bad.
No, they're really good.
I could eat these all day, just like the donuts.
Yeah, the cream cheese on the inside really makes sure that they don't get too dry. They're perfect for summer because they're nice and cool and refreshing from being right out of the fridge.
Being in the fridge is very important because if you don't put them in, then they're going to get all melty and they're not going to stick together and the chocolate's not going to harden and you're just going to have a bad Oreo truffle. And we do not want that here in Rockford.
They're a little bit messy and they're not the cleanest thing to make, so make sure that you get a lot of space to make these, but they aren't too hard, so they're perfect for beginners. A perfect thing, you don't have to be an expert to make them. They are not hard to make.
It's a great thing to do with kids too. Get their hands a little dirty, but make sure you clean up right after because you don't want to do it.
Yeah, and it's not, since you only need one thing of cream cheese and one package of Oreos, it makes so many. So you don't have to worry about buying like tons and tons of ingredients because it just, one simple package will make enough for a huge party. How's the mixing going?
It's still going. I mean, this isn't the hardest thing we've made on this show, but it's something. But I think we can form them into more balls. So,
when you dip it in chocolate, sometimes it can be smart if you want to use other different kinds of chocolate. So you can use milk and you can use dark. You can mix the two. So those will make your recipe a little bit more complex if you want to take it a level up.
Some people like to compare these truffles to cake pops, which is also another one of my favorites. It's quite easy too. Just cake and frosting and some melted candy coating or even the chocolate like we use. And then you just put them right in the fridge again and take them out. Perfect.
When crushing your Oreos, sometimes it can be hard if you're just using like a knife or a spoon or a utensil. So I would go for the rolling pin approach. You can really get your hands into it and it'll really crush them up, make sure that it's nicely fine and perfectly grounded. Because if the chunks are too big, well then it's going to be hard to eat. So you really want to make sure that it's really fine and easy to mix later.
And with the Oreos you put on top, a lot of people forget that you have to only use 8. So when you're putting your whole family pack of Oreos in, make sure you take the 8 out. Unless then you'll have, it'll be the same taste, but it won't be as pretty.
Yep, just use the whole pack except for 8. Make sure that you leave those 8 behind to use as a topping later. That is an important step.
All right, Grace, are you ready to form these chocolate truffles?
Yep, let's go. All right, it's a little bit sticky at first, but make sure that you keep going with it and get them into the perfect shape. If they're too big, it can be a little bit too much sweetness to eat. Well, it's been an eventful day of food, laughter, and good times.
Yeah, it has. I will totally check out those spots again, like all the donuts and the cheese shop. They were just amazing to see, especially the Burger Shack. I'm definitely going there tonight.
Yeah. Well, this has been Beyond the Plate. Once again, I'm Grace Upham.
And I'm Mackenzie Pomisano. Make sure you check out all of those spots too. You can also find us on Instagram at Beyond the Rock.
Stay tuned for our next show that'll be taking a look at the Winter Olympics and our local ties to winter sports.
So we're just here still making the balls, but you might have to see these on our Instagram once they're done.
Yep, and be sure to check out those spots. If you want to try the burgers, they are super good. We've had them. And the donuts are totally worth having. Once again, thanks for joining us. Have a great day.
This is a visual representation of how much water is on our planet. This is how much of that water is fresh water. 72% of our fresh water is used in industry. 20% is used in agriculture. And 8% is used in domestic environment. Only 1% of which is used as clean drinking water. This is how much water we have to save. 1%, 1 drop.
I am strength. I am integrity. I am patience. I am me.
Connor, Seth, Kaylee, Jeremiah, Sophia, Jonah, Noah, Danielle, Sarah, David, Anthony, Dad, Mom, John, Gavin, Brian, Ellie, Sam, Put the cap on. Drinking doesn't just affect you.
Being bullied day after day gets old. Doing nothing about it gets old too. Today I take things into my own hands. Adults tell you that drinking isn't the answer, but today it's all I got. At least I thought it was. Okay, see past the bottle. There's so much more we have to live for. It's not worth drinking it away.
Hello Rockford, I'm Natalie Boltman.
And I'm Alina Manzanilla.
Today we are taking a closer look into how this year's Winter Olympics have inspired young athletes in our own community.
We sent our very own Megan Lindeboom to visit the Muskegon Winter Sports Complex and check out all the popular winter attractions.
The Muskegon Sports Complex may be new to the area, but it's actually the largest recreational luge park in the United States.
The park is known for its universal access and adaptive equipment, making it possible for all age types and disabilities to participate.
The luge track may be shorter in length than other Olympic parks in the U.S., but it still provides an Olympic thrill with the safety for participants.
This past weekend, I got the chance to travel over to Muskegon to check out a really special place.
I think I've heard of it. Is it the place where you learn how to luge with an actual Olympian?
Yes, it's called the Muskegon Winter Sports Complex. Sadly, we didn't get a luge that day, but BTR's field reporter and director, Megan Lindeboom, got to meet with some pretty cool people.
Awesome, let's check it out.
Hey guys, I'm Megan Lindeboom and I'm here at Muskegon's Winter Sports Complex to check out the activities they have that are similar to the Olympics. Located in Muskegon State Park, the Muskegon Winter Sports Complex is a hot spot for winter activities like hockey, cross-country skiing, snowshoeing, sledding, and most notably, luging. Do you come to the sports complex often?
No, this is our first time here,
First time here. After seeing all the activities the park has to offer, we're gonna go check out the luge. I'm here with Sophia and she just got done luging. Tell me, how was it?
It was really fun because on the walls you have to get a lot of speed.
You do? How do you get a lot of speed?
You have to point your toes and kind of lean.
Did you have to take a class beforehand?
Yeah.
How long was the class?
Like 15 minutes.
It was scary but fun.
Why was it scary?
Very fast, very hard to think.
Right.
But you have to think.
Did you take classes beforehand?
Oh God, no. No.
That was just your first time?
First time ever.
Thank you so much.
You're
High
welcome.
five. High five. Yay! Yay! It was super cool checking out Michigan's most popular winter sports complex. Once again, I'm Megan Lindeboom with Beyond the Rock School News.
Muskegon Winter Sports Complex sounds like they have a lot to offer to the community.
Yeah, I think they need to make a trip out there to luge with some friends.
For sure. When Megan and I went, it was pretty cold, but totally worth it.
It sure does seem like fun. They've got everything from skating, hockey, snowshoeing. Actually, I think this place trains with Olympians.
I think it definitely could. You should check it out.
I will most likely. After the break, we'll have Caitlin telling us about Rockford's very own varsity hockey team.
Perseverance. Consistency. Integrity. Values that last a life.
And Rockford High School's varsity hockey team.
Thanks, guys. Rockford's varsity hockey team may not be looking for a gold medal, but they are looking for this year's state title. The team's hard work and determination is taught through a strong coaching staff and showcased by this year's 4 seniors. The school has a rigorous training schedule with daily practices and multiple games each week. Considering the dedication both high school and Olympian athletes commit to their sport, it is no surprise that Rockford's hockey team is a fan favorite and that the USA's team took home the gold in this year's Olympics. Rockford's team is continuously working harder towards carrying out and continuing momentum in their season to perform well in their last games in 2 playoffs.
In 2016, CJ Pober stepped up as head coach for the Rams, helping them through tough losses and wins. Not only do they prepare physically, but they also prepare mentally.
I just try to really get dialed in and focused before a game as much as possible.
You don't want to be going into games thinking this is an automatic win. You want good competition, so that's definitely what our schedule is built around.
With tough teams to beat, they can be defined by their determination.
Strengths is we got a lot of hard workers. Probably our depth.
As the Rams wrap up their season, they are currently 14-9.
We've had guys that have been around here for a long time. This year we're a very junior-dominated team. We beat the teams that we should beat. We've had some hard-fought losses, but we're getting into a stretch where we're playing a bunch of conference opponents, and we're trying to prove ourselves in our conference. Our seniors are still very important players, all 4 of them.
If you haven't seen them, be sure to come check them out before the season's over.
We got a lot of skill guys and a lot of big guys.
Well, if you've never seen hockey, it's one of the fastest sports out there. There's good hard-hitting action. The boys go to battle every single night. Yeah, the hits, the goals, all the excitement of it. It's a fun sport and a good time.
I think they should come and find out.
Come support your Ice Rams. This is Caitlin Lisser skating off with Beyond the Rock School News.
Is not the only winter sport that students in the community are active in.
In fact, snowboarding and skiing have become extremely popular as competitive sports for our youth.
Thomas McGregor, a junior at Rockford High School, has taken skiing to the next level by showcasing his talents at multiple competitions throughout the season.
Yeah, Alina, didn't you have the chance to see how Thomas prepares for his competitions?
Yes, I did. I followed Thomas through his training at Cannonsburg Ski Hill and took a deeper look into what it takes to become a competitive skier. Professional snowboarding and skiing can be seen in this year's Winter Olympics. However, I had the chance to speak with Thomas McGregor, an upcoming professional skier here in Rockford. Thomas may only be 17 years old, but skiing has been a part of his life since he was a little kid. You said your dad had gotten you into this sport.
Yeah, he took me out. He used to ski back when he was a kid, so he wanted to teach me how. I wasn't too great at it, but I'm glad I stuck with it.
Yeah. Is he more of a coach to you or a mentor?
He's more of a mentor. He's not very big into like knowing what tricks to do and all that stuff, but he definitely knows like what's best for me, just like keeping my mind stable and knowing what tricks to throw and keeping my head straight in the competitions.
Physical training is half the battle. Mental discipline and dedication is the key to success.
I know like the risk of the sport and like the nature of the sport is the danger, and that's kind of what I like about it. But when you get hurt, you just got to take a break and then come back even stronger, so you just got to enjoy the days that you have on the hill. I guess the best way that I overcome obstacles is I'll kind of like take a break and then come back out with a new mindset, maybe try something else, but I'll never really give up on a trick. I'll always keep trying it another day.
Skiing is a passion for Thomas that he continues to love every day.
The sport's like always changing, and there's like innovation always coming through and progression that you can make, and that's pretty much what I like about it the best.
Just want to thank Thomas for giving us an inside look into what professional skiers go through, and we wish him the best of luck in his future competitions. This is Alina Manzanilla, back. Amazing to see all the hard work and dedication that Thomas, like many other young and upcoming athletes, put into their sport.
You know, watching the footage of Thomas, it just makes skiing look so easy and really shows how talented the athletes are who participate in the Olympics and just that they compete at such a high level.
After the commercial break, Amber will give us a weather update for Rockford and Pyeongchang. Then our Winter Olympics correspondent Evan will join Natalie to test her in some Olympic trivia.
Wake up. Work out. Compete. Repeat. Wake up. Work out. Compete. Repeat. Wake up. Work out. Compete. Repeat. Success isn't found in big events. It is found in hearts, through discipline and repetition of little things over and over again.
Now we have Amber Twardy to give us the latest forecast and weather update. Here she is.
Hey Rockford, Amber Twardy here with your 5-day weather forecast. So it looks like throughout the week, temperatures are really going to start to rise, and it's going to start off pretty cold in the 40s and so, and it's going to rise all the way up to 55 on Tuesday. With the warm weather will also come brighter skies, and we'll see it go from rainy to cloudy and back to sunny. So for Friday it looks like we're going to have some nice dry afternoon and evening. And that's contrary to this morning, where rain showers stopped around 10 p.m. The high will be around 40s and the low will be around high 30s. As for tomorrow, it'll be around the same, minus the rain, so it'll be just as cloudy, just as gloomy, and it'll be around the same temperatures as today as well, slightly warmer. As for Sunday, it's going to be very windy with gusts reaching up to 23 miles per hour and humidity around 87%. So it'll be a great day to head out to the lake shore to see some big waves roll in. The high will be 48 and the low will be 30. For Monday, the high will be 48 and the low will be 34. It'll be nice and sunny, so you can expect to go outside and soak up some nice vitamin D. It's much well needed after all this rain. As for Tuesday, it's going to be mostly sunny and 55 and 38. Since it's going to be the warmest day of the week, it'll be great to be able to go outside and start practicing for the Summer Olympics of 2020. So hit the pool or maybe try out the gymnastics beam and have a great weekend, Rockford.
Thanks, Amber, for the weather update. And now we have Evan Doobie to give us some Olympic facts. Hi, Evan.
Hi. Hi. So we have a strong U.S. team this year. It's made out of 200 people, over 200 athletes. We have 135 men and 109 women. It's the largest Winter Olympic team for any nation in history.
Wow, history in the making this year. More than the milestone marks, you know, I really love hearing just about the stories that are behind each athlete. What are some that have stuck out to you, Evan?
Yeah, so this year we have 2 openly gay men, a brother and sister who stood together to take home bronze after they have ice danced together for years. And Amy Purdy came back to the Paralympic snowboarding event. Also, Chloe Kim and Red Gerard took home gold at the age of 17. Chloe also qualified for the Olympic team at 13, but she wasn't old enough. She really showed the world her talent.
Wow, that's really awesome to hear about the competitors. Evan, could you just tell us more about the details for this year's host city, Pyeongchang?
Yeah, Pyeongchang is actually the smallest host city since 1994, and a temporary stadium was built for this Winter Games.
Okay, so you said temporary. What do you mean by that?
Well, the total cost was $109 million for the stadium, but it will be deconstructed after the games are finished.
Awesome. Comments have been made that the stands looked empty on the opening ceremony. What happened there?
Yeah, so the stadium holds 35,000 people, and the lights made it look like it was empty, but it was actually completely packed with spectators, over 95% filled.
Awesome. Thanks, Evan. And thanks for staying tuned. Here we have next, just stay tuned for the talent at Rockford. We have some special featured Rockford students who will be showing their entertainment and through the variety show, so keep watching for that.
Let's go.
79%. Yeah, 98%, bro.
The decisions you make every day become the building blocks of who you are. Your choices either build you up or tear you down. It is up to you to construct your character. Character is determined by things like respect, being generous, having creativity, choosing love, showing politeness, and being nice. In the end, when we take away the attributes that shape us, we put our character at risk.
You might not realize this, but every day, everyone is carrying an invisible bucket. When you are mean to someone, you take from their bucket. But what you might not know is being mean takes from your own bucket too. When you're nice to someone, it fills their bucket along with your own.
Bullying empties buckets, and nobody wants an empty bucket.
Don't be a bucket dipper. The decisions you make every day become the building blocks of who you are. Your choices either build you up or tear you down. It is up to you to construct your character. Character is determined by things like respect, being generous, having creativity, choosing love.
Hi guys, I'm Lauren Rhodes. And I'm Jeannie Fox, and you're watching Beyond the Rock Live. Today we're highlighting some of the underappreciated talents here at Rockford High School. You know, Lauren, I brought my ukulele. Did you happen to play it in the variety show? I don't do too well in front of crowds, but I did sit in the front row cheering on all of my friends. My personal favorite this year at the variety show was all the different dancing. Especially the Glow Girls. I love seeing people find new ways to show off their skills. Zach actually went down to catch the inside scoop on the special talent. Right, Zach?
Two nights of talent and fun celebrating the gifted students here at RHS.
There were many performances ranging from duets to dancing, and none of them fell short of amazing.
What are you doing tonight for the variety show?
I'm singing You by Dodie.
I see you were trumpeting. I was playing the trumpet, yeah. Well, you did a good job. Thank you very much. Way better than I would have done. You want to try it?
I'll take a shot. I play keyboard.
I'm gonna play piano and hopefully make a few people happy.
Sounds my jam.
Preparing for another performance with a band, and we're playing a song by the Hall & Oates.
We got to see lots of new acts, along with a couple crowd favorites from years prior.
We did the talent show last year, and we're back again to rock on.
So, what are you doing tonight for the variety show?
I am singing a song I wrote called Paralyzed.
I'm gonna be dancing. I'm in a duet with Dylan White called Toes.
What is your favorite act so far?
I really love Chloe Nelson and Jack Merchant.
There are people here that I didn't know could do this so well, and then they just do it, and it blows my mind.
A huge shout out goes to Mr. Hibden for once again directing a tremendous show, and to the stage crew who did a ton of great work behind the scenes.
This has been the 2018 Variety Show. I'm Lindsay Holverson.
And I'm Zach Nichols with Beyond the Rock School.
You know, it's fun to participate in the talent shows or even sit in the audience, but it's interesting for us here at BTR who are able to get the behind-the-scenes action. Coming up, we have a moving piece on Sylvia Chettleburl, a student here at Rockford, and her stunning poetry.
Lend me your ears for just a moment, even if that's all you have. All of you, if not most, have been to the mandatory assemblies of repeated hope. Nothing new, but nothing yet old. I'm here to mix it up a little.
I'm Sylvia Chettleburl. I am 19 years old and in 12th grade. I've been doing poetry for 6 to 7 years.
We had the opportunity to talk to Sylvia more about her inspiring poetry.
Love doing poetry because it's like you get your ideas down on the page, you get the emotions, you get the feelings, and it stays on the page. If you have a conversation with someone, it's difficult to get all your thoughts out, so I write it down in poetry.
Sylvia tells us what her poetry means to her.
Rereading it, because it's just like you're living in the moment. It's, you know, it's like you write down the emotions and then you reread it and you feel it all over again. It's like reading a good book that you wrote.
Sylvia also did a special performance at the previous DHK.
I've never spoken in front of more than like 4 people. I was kind of nervous, but I had enough people saying, just walk on stage and own it. Walk in there like you own the place and walk out like you own just the poem and the emotions within it. And so that's what I did.
We must invest time in what we want. Because we cannot retrieve time does not mean we should fear it, rather respect it, because it's still our time.
Wasn't that a treat? I had the opportunity to talk to Sylvia and interview her, and let me say she's an amazing girl.
Sylvia Chettleburl, senior here, has incredible poetry writing skills. She performed at our most recent Developing Healthy Kids and in the variety show.
Sylvia originally only shared her poem with Mrs. Deckard, who showed Mrs. Young, who is in charge of DHK. She was so moved and inspired by her poem that she wanted her to perform it at the DHK Forum to impact others the way it impacted her.
And with a show-stopping act, she left everyone in the audience speechless and wanting more. Sylvia was kind enough to sit down with us and shoot that story.
The decisions you make every day become the building blocks of who you are. Your choices either build you up or tear you down. It is up to you to construct your character. Character is determined by things like respect, being generous, having creativity, choosing love, showing politeness, and being nice. In the end, when we take away the attributes that shape us, we put our character at risk.
You might not realize this, but every day, everyone is carrying an invisible bucket. When you are mean to someone, you take from their bucket. But what you might not know is being mean takes from your own bucket too. When you're nice to someone, it fills their bucket along with your own.
Bullying empties buckets, and nobody wants an empty bucket.
Don't be a bucket dipper.
It really is moving listening to people speak their thoughts so confidently and artistically. It sure does take a lot of courage.
There are so many interesting people in this school that no one really knows about. For example, Jared Felker. He's 16th in the country for fencing.
That's crazy. And Carson Ford participated in the Junior Olympics for skiing last year.
Lauren, do you have any special skills?
I like to do theater, but I can't really think of anything else. What about you?
I really enjoy making videos and movies with my friends, but other than that, not much.
With a school of nearly 2,000 kids, you'd be surprised with all of the amazing, sometimes strange things people can do.
And then we have our foreign exchange students who come to this school a stranger and leave with everyone knowing their name.
Albin Johnson, an exchange student from Finland, is a trained opera and jazz singer. He also performed at our school's variety show and drew tears from many audience members.
Here's a story on Albin's amazing voice and his life in Finland.
My name is Albin Jansson. I'm from a self-autonomous region of Finland called Åland. 30,000 people live there, so about the size as Rockford. I can't really do the exact same thing since we live on an island. We go out with a jet ski or a boat and it's a nice time. My home life back in Finland, I sing once or twice a week, an hour each time. I played basketball. I've done a lot of different sports, play video games, spend time with my family. I started singing in general when I started school, and then I started taking private lessons 6 years ago. Then it was mostly musicals, and then I transitioned into jazz, and then recently I've been trying to focus more on opera. My favorite part about singing, well, that's a very hard question. It's just, it feels so amazing because your voice becomes so massive that you can fill up an entire auditorium. Since I came to Rockford, I was on the JV football team. Now I'm going to be on the rugby team. My favorite part about being an exchange student is probably I met a lot of new friends and people. In 7th grade, I heard that you could be an exchange student and go to another country and study for a year. I talked to my parents, said that it was something I wanted to do. And then 4 years later, I ended up going here.
Seeing exchange students take advantage of all of their opportunities makes me want to travel outside of the United States and see what other countries have to offer.
I totally agree, Jeannie. Where would you like to travel to someday?
I'd love to go to Italy, and fortunately enough, I'm going there for spring break with the choirs.
Wow, that sounds amazing. And lucky for us, we have Albin Johnson coming up, who will be showing off his amazing talents.
He will be joining us in the studio for a live performance of Can't Help Falling in Love by Elvis Presley. back with Albin, and he is ready to sing Can't Help Falling in Love by Elvis Presley.
Okay, so my name's Albin Jansen. I come from a small island region of Finland called Åland Islands. I started singing about 6 years ago. I love singing and it's one of my greatest passions. The reason why I started singing is a pretty hard one. Well, not really a hard one, I would say. I just started singing from a young age, and then the younger, more or less the older I became, the more I wanted to sing, and here I am.
Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Shall I stay? Would it
What a great performance. So much talent in one individual.
So true. We all need to learn to appreciate each other's individual talents while we are still here.
Well, that wraps it up for this edition of Beyond the Rock Live. Thanks for watching.
Have a great day.
And feel the love, Rockford.